Subscribe to our YouTube channel for in-depth interviews of India Inc. and press the bell icon so that you do not miss our updates.
Hello and welcome to Nirmal, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here. We have with us Kunal, Shah, head of Commodities Research, joining in. Welcome to the show, Kunal. Let's first start with what's happening with the dollar index as well. Clearly, if you go to see the kind of moves that we've seen, Friday the closing was at around 92.37. Where from here on?
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, the main question everyone will be having is that where the dollar is heading. So the dollar index, the dollar index is under pressure because of two reasons. Eurozone has come up with the entire Europe's bailout, how they are going to do the bailout of the Europe, and also because of that news, euro is basically strengthening, and that's why dollar is weakening. So in dollar index, everyone knows the highest weightage is of euro. So any positive you see in Europe, that is going to be bearish for dollar. Number two, in last week's Powell's speech at Jackson Hall, he has made it very dovish speech and made it clear that the inflation is going to shoot up in US, and they are going to print till the inflation reaches 2%. So now what does this mean for dollar? That the dollar is going to lose its value. Forget about the downside and upside of the dollar index, but the way these guys are printing, it seems that the US currency will lose its value, and when it loses its value, it will eventually depreciate. So the directional view right now for the emerging market currency is sell the rallies, because the dollar's direction is so far looking very weak. So once you see dollar index breaking 92, you will see a sharp fall. So that is the level which is being which the dollar index is holding on since long. So below 92, you are going to see some technical sell-off also, and so Indian rupee, because of the border issue today, we've seen some upside. I don't know whether it is going to escalate or de-escalate in a day or two or so, but it seems that another 20-25% maximum upside. Doesn't seem that we are going to see again 75, 50, 76. There is no trigger for that because the dollar index is still at 92.4046.
Correct.
So my view is today you can go long. I don't know what is going to happen overnight in this China and India tension, but it seems that you are going to see some bit of buying for a day or two, and after that it can fizzle. So for intraday traders or for the BTST guys, I would recommend to go long, and you can see 20-25% appreciation for evening trading.
Right. So with all of this, overall, if you go to see in terms of like crude is concerned, what is the outlook? Do we remain neutral to bullish?
Yeah, so last time only I clearly said that oil can go up and test levels of 32.40. I stick with that view. 31.90 good levels to go long, 32.40 to 32 maximum 32.50. The other kind of levels where you can see today UAE has announced the production cut in crude oil. So so far they were very conservative, and even they've one of the big refineries over there announced 30% production cut for all of its buyer. So that is definitely going to trigger some bit of buying, and 30 to 40 are the levels what you can expect during evening session for crude oil.
Right. And on the commodities front, what's the sense that you have with regards to silver and gold? We have discussed this quite a bit, but from here on as well, there is still that little bit of bearishness that people are still thinking in terms of where gold is concerned.
Mm.
What is the view? What would you recommend right now?
Yeah, so I think in line with what you are asking, and also Abhishek is asked what is the positional view on MCX Bulldex. So I'll answer two questions together. First, I'm not bullish on gold silver from the near term.
Correct.
I have been saying this, and I continue with my view. I don't see a major buying can come even now, and the reason for that is that generally when the dollar index corrects the way it has corrected, gold and silver, basically gives a sharp up move even on comics. So in comics also, what we saw recently is that it is not able to give that. So I think psychological $2,000 on COMEX should hold, maximum 2010, and it should again go down because the ETF buying has moderated. Number one, number two, the central bank buying has also moderated recently. Number three, the retail, the jewelry demand is continuing to remain weak. So until and unless the ETF buying again picks up and again you see massive buying continuing, I think gold and silver both are sell at rise. So I'll give the levels 51,700 to 800. Gold is a sell. 52,200 to 20 should be the stop loss, and target should be 51,100 to 51,300 to 100. For silver, 70,100 good levels to go short. 70,850 should be the stop loss. 68,500 for the September contract, for the December contract should be the target. So I'm not expecting this upside to continue and give a return. Another thing, that the inflation in US has started to move up already. So what generally happens is that when the inflation moves up in US, the bond yields also starts to move up. So even if the interest rate, the actual interest rate remains low, but when the inflation starts shooting up, the bond market, the yields on the 10-year benchmark, 5-year benchmark start shooting up. So that doesn't go well with gold. Gold requires low bond yield for it to shoot up. So bond yields are relatively very high, and they are likely to surge higher. So I'm still bearish, and for the short term, long term very bullish, and bull dex, MCX bull dex, which is trading right now around 16,250 to 16,300 right now. So in that also I'm expecting, maximum 16,350, 300. I would go short, and stop loss should be placed at around 16,500, and target should be somewhere at 16,100 to 60,050. That is my view for Bulldex. If you ask me, very long term view for 5-6 months, I will still be accumulating it from 16,000 to 15,500 or 400 maximum. So I will accumulate M6 Bulldex around those levels. But in near term, I think selling at rise is a good strategy rather than going long.
Right. And overall, again, if you see in terms of where base metals is concerned, what's the view?
Yeah. So base metal, what is happening is that today China came up with a manufacturing PMI, which was 51. And if you look, what is happening in China is that China is trying to prop up the economy by spending more to the infrastructure because the external demand is weak. So like India announced a lot of restrictions. Same way, one after another countries are putting more and more restrictions on China. So China's internal demand is suffering. So external demand is suffering. So what China is doing is the government is spending money. Fiscal monetary policy is very strong there right now. So government is boosting the infrastructure project, the realty, the construction, and that's why base metal prices are getting great support. Other thing which is supporting base metal is the production cut. So mines in Philippines, mines in Indonesia, mines in South America, Chile, Peru, Mexico, lots and lots of mine have seen the production disruption, and because of that, even though the global demand is relatively weaker, but because supply side is getting weaker, base metals are not going down significantly. So copper, my view is still the same. 523, 524, I will buy. Below 520, 519, I will put a stop loss and expect copper to test 530 to 31, 32. So buy at dips. Nickel also looks very bullish because of the same reason. So I was going through the data on weekend. So basically what is happening in Indonesia and Philippines, which are one of the major nickel producers. So in last 6 months, we have seen cumulatively in Indonesia and Malaysia, Philippines and Indonesia, both have lost more than 20% of the total production. So these are the largest producers of nickel. So I think nickel is also going to move up going forward, and 1125 to 1130 good range to go long. 1005 should be the stop loss. And for this month, I'm expecting it to shoot up and test levels of 1170 to 1180. So this is a new addition from my side to the team. This is one commodity where I'm extremely bullish, irrespective of what happens, because the supply side is very weak in nickel. So I'm expecting a good upside in nickel futures from here.
Right. And what's the view on natural gas?
Natural gas generally I relatively don't push a lot to the clients because of its nature, and it's not a commodity for retail clients. It's very volatile. So my view in natural gas is also similar. Natural gas in near term should not go up. 200, 205 should hold. 196 I will sell. Stop loss I will put around 201, and I will cover my short position around 187 to 186. So this is my view for natural gas, but I'm not that aggressive and keen to support and promote this commodity.
Right. So that regards to when natural gas goes, I think these are the only questions that we have so far. Thank you, Kunal, so much. Thank you all the participants for joining in today's